Today we are looking at my shocking chipping. First episode of the me trying to get a handicap, that was the area that I felt let me down the most. So we're going to go and fix it. Let's get stuck into this lesson. Okay, so I want to talk you through what I've changed in my short game a little bit and what I thought was wrong. So obviously first episode there had 3 chips that were very easy chips, and I didn't get any of them up and down. 3 of them on holes 5, 6 and 9, and I think the closest I got was on the 6th hole, and that was about 8 to 9 feet away. Now what I noticed when I look back at the footage, it was all very basic stuff that was going wrong for me. So the first thing was just my actual alignment as I was stood to it. So I could aim the club face where I wanted to, my intended landing zone, but then from there my feet were actually parallel to that line. But what I was noticing was that my shoulders were really closed as I was stood to it. So if I'm aiming at this white flag here, my body should be aiming just slightly on the inside then, so we'd have ball to target line, body line is parallel. You might see of old days of days of old where people stood a little bit more open, but I was stood like this. So what that was making me do as I was coming through, I was getting a little bit too much on the inside, and then I was bottoming out a little bit too early, which I was always feeling. One of the other things that was happening as we look from this angle, because of like everything that goes around on the internet now and what I've been looking at, trying to play a bit of a softer chip and a spinnier chip, I was noticing if we looked at this yellow cane and I put my ball there, on most of my chips now, I had the ball pretty much just inside that lead foot. So then I would press a little bit of weight forwards, maybe not quite enough, but then I was tilting a bit like this. So everything was just out of sync. So I've just stripped it back to basics and made sure that I can actually do the basics well. If I can aim well, I can get my ball position right. From there I can then start to actually really refine my chipping. So I'll just chip this one off here first and explain what I've gone back to a little bit more. So bit of a funky bounce, but there I'm 3 feet away, and that is what I want a little bit more. So all I've done really to start off with is once I've taken my aim now, as I stand to it, it does feel at the minute like I'm aiming about 5 yards left of my target. I know that my face is there because I would use my intermediate target, so I'm picking a spot out here that I would aim at. From there then, I'm making sure, most importantly, that my shoulders are parallel to this line. So as I stand to it at the minute, it does feel like I'm pointing off over to the left, but when I actually check it and look down the club here now, I'm pointing more just to parallel of my target line. So like I say, it feels open, but I've just got to trust it. And off I go, slightly pushed that one, just gripped a little bit, but it was a pretty decent strike and started down the line, or more towards the line of where I wanted to go. Next, the big thing, like I say, was that ball position. And what I've done is I've actually started playing a little bit more middle, and if anything back, if I'm playing more of a basic chip now and I'm trying to get a little bit more of a chip and run style shot, I'm playing it a little bit back of centre. I was finding that my chip and runs, like I say, were played from this inside of the foot, then I was trying to lean, I was tilting here and it just wasn't working. So ball more central for me here, really feeling that the middle of the body is right on top of this cane, and then from there I would lean. So to me, if anything now, it feels a little bit back, and I have been experimenting a little bit with putting it a little bit more back and getting a bit of lean, but then still feeling that I'm not getting too steep and digging the turf out too much. I still want to feel that I'm wide with the arms and just clipping it off. So when from there then, keep that weight length forwards, that ball position central to slightly back if anything, my good alignment. That was a nice little clean pick there. And I'm starting to see more and more that my chips are going down my target line, the strike is better, which is going to help me control that big factor, which is my distance control, because that was the issue with, you know, those 3 chips in the original episode. 20 feet, I think, with the one on 5, 8 feet, the one on 6, and about 25 feet on the one on 9, and such simple little shots. So I've got to make sure I can do the basics well, like this, to see that I'm actually able to then move on to more, you know, finesse style shots and more high caliber shots. If I can't do these ones, well, that's not going to work. So setup change, feeling that I'm parallel, and that might be a good tip for everyone out there. If you're feeling you're getting too open, too closed, just check now and again where that setup is. Like I say, for me, I took it for granted, thought, oh no, it's going to be absolutely fine, and what I saw was that it wasn't, and that ball position, just had a little monitor of that, and again found that it wasn't right. I've changed it. It doesn't feel alien or crazy what I've done, just a little bit of a change, and yes, it does feel slightly weird, but even there we can see now much better strikes, more down my target lines, and starting to chip the ball how I want to. What I'm going to do is going to do a little bit of a feel scenario for you, show you how I'm going to practice my feel, and then from there we're going to head out onto the golf course and put this new little technique to a little bit of a test, so stay tuned for that. So it's time to get your feeling, and this is just basically you practicing. There's no, you know, given way that this is how feel is. You've got to go out there and understand how much pressure you apply on the club and how you interact with the ground, and, you know, out of different lies, how does the ball fly, the speed the club head's moving. But a real simple thing that I like to do, even like off a good lie, a bad lie, I've got 3 canes that we can see there, and all I'm going to try and do here, I've got 6 golf balls. I'm going to go first cane, second cane, third cane, then 3, 2, 1. And I'm just trying to pitch them as close as I can to those canes each time as I do it, because all that's making me do is focus on my landing spot. If I stood and practiced the same chip all the time, I start to adjust myself and get used to being where it was. But if I'm changing it every single shot, I can then have to work on that feel to fly it a few yards extra. I might want to fly it further but lower. I might want to fly it further but higher, and I can change these things during my setup and how I apply the club to the ball, but I've just got to ultimately get out there and do it. So we're going to go canes 1, 2, 3, then 3, 2, 1, see how close I can get to each one with each single shot. So make sure I'm going through those technical things that I've just applied. That's in, good ball position, little lean. Not too bad, about a foot away, so would have fallen about a foot short of my pin if I was. But then as I go into the next one, I'd have my little practice swing and readjusting it's a little bit further. Anything that I didn't quite get there was a little bit skinny, so I'm going to watch that I keep that pressure, feeling that it's in front of the ball as I hit it. But same again, monitor my technical things. Oh, and literally 1 golf ball before that second cane, so that's great. Felt like it was a technically good chip. Again, move up the cane, feel I'm doing the same things, monitor each time. And not bad there, to be fair, landed about a ball away on that one. This time, on the way back down, because I've had an okay little run there, I'm going to try and hit these a little bit higher. So I'm going to feel like I just open the club face, do what I've been doing, but try and get them floating a little bit higher. So it's going to mean I have to swing the club a little bit longer to get my desired distance. But again, that all comes down to the feel of each shot. So face is open, that ball's pretty central for me, making sure that body's aligned correctly. Not bad, pushed that one a little bit, left the face a bit too open, didn't change my alignment there, but it was about a foot out, so I'm not too displeased. The ones that I hit originally in that first episode were so far away from where I wanted to be that if I can really dial it in and I would be hitting the canes, then we would be cooking on gas. So face is open for a bit more loft, open that stance up, middle one. And pretty nice there, landed a couple of balls away. Go to my final one now. See if we can get it. So middle of the stance, wait there, I'm checking it. And all pretty good as I've come back down that ladder. So repeating these, doing them, you know, each day or a different day, going through these little tests and just working on things like this. I could do it out of a bit of rough, could do it with a different lofted club, but the more I'm doing it, I'm just really ingraining that feeling and getting the short game sharper. So we're gonna pick this stuff up, we're gonna head out on the golf course, and I'm gonna play a game of up and down. So 9 short game shots. I've got to up and down it. I want to see that out of the 9 attempts that I do it on, I can get it up and down 6 out of the 9. So let's head out and give it a go. Get it. Not a bad little start, so we're going to go and tap that one in. Okay, so there's 1 of 9. We're going to go to a medium chip now and move on. Okay, so my medium chip, little bit of dense rough over here, got a bit of room to work with, so that's what's making it the medium aspect. The rough's making it the bit more tricky stuff. So again, it's just going through and checking that list off for myself, seeing that my technique, everything that I want to work on is correct, my alignment, my ball position, and all I've got to do is pick the landing spot and trust my feel. Not bad. Didn't quite get all of it there because of how the lie was, but you know, better than what we saw in episode 1. So we'll tap that one in. Again, just going through my process, reading the putt, choosing my line as if I was actually playing in a comp. Do you know what? I felt like I pushed that. Oh well, more of a putting error than a chipping error, that one. Okay, going to go third and final one on this green. We're going to go for the hard one. Hopefully we get that one up and down. Oh, it's come out horrible there. It's not too bad though. Not too bad. That was a tough shot out of such juicy rough there. Okay, so bit of a testing putt. If I hold this, this will be a get out of jail, but just shows the difficulty of that last little chip. Break. Oh, do you know what? I saw that moving. Oh well. Okay, we move on to the next green, try and get a few more up and down. We'll take that one. That's pretty much a tap-in. So that is the medium one completed. We're going to head down here. This is a very similar chip. Not bad, just actually didn't quite commit to giving that everything then. Okay, so going through the routine like I would do on the golf course, trying to make it the same, try and simulate that little bit of pressure. Target, same glances. And off we go. That's 2 out of 2 so far. That was the easy one. We've had the medium. Let's get on to a hard one. This is going to be a tricky little shot. You can see that swinging now. Simmer, 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 simmer. Crikey. I thought I'd played that pretty well then. I put my putter down here thinking I'd get nowhere near that, but because the slope's so aggressive, I got it up pretty decent, landed it where I wanted to, but it just came whizzing back at me like you wouldn't believe. Then I've lost my marker. But do you know what? Sometimes, like I say, playing it as the hard chip, instead of flattering myself and giving myself 9 easy ones, at least I know it's actually, I've done what I wanted to do. I've just misjudged it slightly, but you know, hole the putt here and all is forgiven. Break. Oh, come back, come back, come back. Do you know what? I hit that putt where I thought it should have gone. That's 2 out of 3 on this green, 1 out of 3 on the other one. If we get 3 out of 3 on the last, we've passed the task. Just didn't quite commit to that one there. I'm just finding that's where the practice comes in. I'll actually just have that tiny bit more speed as well. At the minute I'm just slightly hesitant on them, but that's why we practice. And this is the length that, you know, you leave these ones about 6.5 feet, 7 feet. It's just in that horrible zone. It can make and break you round. You hole a couple of them, you feel great. You walk into the next tee feeling great. Miss them, all of a sudden doubt creeps in. But here, I was just that commitment on that chip. But I picked my spot, again, going through that routine. Right edge. Roll it in, Matty, come on. Not what we wanted, all down to the chip, that one. And then I questioned how hard I should hit it over the putt. Sit, sit. Not bad at all, not bad at all. Thought that was gonna chase off at one point for me there, but it's got inside a grip's length. So it's a tap in. And it's a gimme. So we've got how many? We've got 2 on the last one. We're up to a solid 4. Sit. Oh, do you know what? I struck that fantastically, but it was just so hard to get the ball up in the air quick enough. Hey ho, can still hold the putt. That was probably the worst fist pump you'll ever see. So that is it. That is my chipping practice done. I'm going to carry on doing that as well. Going to play that par 18 game every time. And it's a great one for you guys to do because you can keep track of it and you can get a handicap from that as well. So there, I've got 5 out of the 9, so I would be a 4 handicapper at the minute with my chipping. If I got all 9 down, you know, I'd be scratch if I chipped the odd one in, and so on and so forth. So maybe play it that if you're off an 18 handicap, try and get it down in 9 over. So you'd be 27 shots, but keep doing it, keep working on it, and it gives you something to measure yourself against. And like I did there, drop every one, easy, medium, hard. Actually test yourself, because there's no point flattering yourself with a easy chip every single time and thinking you're a great chipper. When you come to a difficult situation on the course, you're probably going to struggle with it. So it might be hard at the start, you know, there 5 out of 9 feel a bit of a fool, but got to keep going, keep grinding. Definitely feel my chipping's got better, but next episode comes out next Thursday. Let's see how we get on. Catch you in the next one, guys.